fans, we are back, and I am sitting with a guy that I've been focusing on for the past few years. I'm sitting with Dominic from GraveDanger. Oh yeah!
Great, I'm fucking great. How are you doing, man? Great.
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. This has been something I've been wanting to do for at least, 2 years now? 1 year we've been talking?
Yeah, for some time now, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, well, let's get in the background. Tell me the history of GraveDanger, because you guys got videos dated back on YouTube from 2011 when you were jamming with two guitar players, and now you're just a three-piece. Now, what's the history of the Danger?
Well, the band's gone through various changes over the past, 10 years. That's what, every band goes through tribulations or whatnot. But long story short, I used to be the leader of a thrash metal band called Oxidation. Back in Northern California in the Bay Area in San Francisco. And we used to play all over NorCal way back then in 2007, back when there was a really good thrash revival scene. And let me tell you, it was some of the best times of my life up there back when that scene was going on. But anyway, I started GraveDanger in 2013 with previous members. I just had a passion for heavy metal, traditional, power metal, speed metal, etc. A little bit of rock and roll, 70s rock and roll influence, stuff like that. So I just throw it all in there. I'm self-taught vocally and guitarist. I'm self-taught guitarist as well. And I pretty much do all the writing, even some of the bass, some of the drum parts, etc.
So, holy shit, man. Now, what got you interested in music? Because I'm just a little bit older than you, and you've introduced me to some of these obscure 80 bands that came right past my radar. What got you interested into music in general?
Well, music runs in my family. Was raised Catholic Italian. So yeah, I come from a family of musicians, and I've always just had a passion for great music. And there's a lot of good music genres that are missing from today's time. A lot of it's being taken over by DJ, and it's just it's no bueno, it's no good. And that's pretty much where I came from with that.
Now, okay, so let me ask you this: what was the reception like when you guys first came out? Because I found you guys on a Facebook group for interesting modern day metal band.
I'm flattered that you were able to just have a pop-up of my video. That's amazing, man. That's awesome. And I've reached levels of fame in this band that I thought I could have never achieved, and I'm super thankful for that.
Your voice was one of the best in Los Angeles.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. What's your name?
Yeah, Yoka.
Yoka?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
From Finland.
Back on the note of our lyrical vibe, we have a very realist approach to our lyric vibe. Our lyrics are informative. Some people don't understand it, but a lot of people do. So that's kind of where we go. Versus some bands, they're more about drinking on a Friday night, driving around in hot rods and, seeing your chick and riding around on a motorcycle. And that's cool. I love that stuff. But we're more we want to wake people up. We want to inform people about the problems that we face in today's world. And, there's a lot of corruption and infiltration within the government, etc. And I would like to say, infiltration from within, kind of deteriorating the country from the inside out. So that's kind of where I'm at. And that's what I try to, I don't want to say preach, but that's kind of what I write about in my music, is that kind of theme stuff. Yeah.
Recently released a few months ago for heavy metal, and you guys got so many views within just a short amount of days after its release.
Well, for heavy metal, it has more of a lighter, more of a humble lyrical theme. It's not really it's not really super deep as far as the lyrics. It's just about, for heavy metal, having a passion for it. And for ignorant people, to give it a chance, because it is great music. That's basically what that song's about. But then you have songs like Control Mechanism. That song's super deep. The lyrics are really deep on that one.
I love your harmonies. I love your how you do that. Oh, 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 oh. song you can sing along to. It's actually my favorite song of yours, by the way.
Yeah, and that stuff, it takes a lot of time to do all those layers of vocals on top of each other. Like you have your main vocal falsetto, and then your high, your super falsetto. So it takes a while. And then on top of that, there's like your chorus harmonies. You have to do all that. Everything has to be in perfect key, and it takes a lot of time. It's very time consuming to do all that, especially when you're doing it all on your own.
Now, okay, so let's talk about that. I've watched live videos of you, and you also sound good live. How do you prep your voice, and then how do you get that same sound at a live setting? For example, the Whiskey A Go-Go show with you guys opening up for Possessed. I mean, your voice is just through the roof, man, and people were going crazy, and you can hear that from the video itself. How do you replicate that sound in a live setting from your home studio to a live setting?
It's just all natural to me. It all comes natural. And, I get influence from some of my favorite singers like Geoff Tate from Queensryche, David Wayne from Metal Church, Midnight from Crimson Glory, Bruce Dickinson here and there. Everybody loves Bruce Dickinson. I get the whole Iron Maiden fascination. I get it. I love Iron Maiden, but my influences go super deep as far as vocally and musically. So, yeah, it just basically comes natural. I just listen to different bands, different music, and I just mismatch it all together. And I can't even tell you where it comes from because it comes from here, man. That's where it comes from.
Now, live though, have you ever had any issues doing those high-pitched voices live? Like, were you ever sick and you're like, oh man, I can't do it today? Did you ever come across problems like that?
You know what? Back in 2006, I think it was 2015, I believe, I played a show at the Doll Hut, and we played there like 5 or 6 times already. But anyway, the Doll Hut in Anaheim. So anyway, I had strep throat, and I had a show. But the whole time, I would say my vocals were a bit more like Metal Church, a little bit raspier, but they were still high up there, like in the falsetto, but more like David Wayne, Rob Halford, Painkiller era type vocals. What happens when I get, like, if I get sick or if I get strep throat, I can still do the falsettos, but sometimes, not to be negative, but it can affect your range vocally. But as far as like major issues, no, I haven't had any issues. No major issues with that.
Well, I have a death metal background. Like, I come from a death metal background. And I can tell you, performing sick and doing death metal, it's not the funnest thing in the world, but you can kind of get away with it because you're already making your voice at a really low pitch. But where you're singing high, I can't imagine the pain you went through having strep throat going like.
One thing I can say, it is very stressful being on stage in general when you're the leader of the band. When you have to sing, you have to play guitar, you have to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, your drummer and your bassist. It's a bit like babysitting in a way. But you'd be surprised. Back when I was with my other band, Oxidation, my vocal style was a lot like Chuck Billy from Testament, Paul Bailoff, Steve Souza from Exodus, a little bit of Razor. I used to do a lot of shrieks. A little bit of light death metal growling, because Chuck Billy, he was like one of my favorite vocalists at the time. So I did a lot of Chuck Billy style vocals, and I still love his vocals to this day. But where I'm at right now is with the whole, traditional heavy metal and power metal style vocals, which I can't get enough of, by the way.
Well, yeah, obviously it shows. And by the way, has any promoters in Europe contacted you for shows? Because, obviously you have all these classic, Germany has an 80s metal festival. All over Europe, they have these 80s metal festivals. Have anyone in Europe ever contacted you about doing shows?
Dude, I send GraveDanger t-shirts all over Europe. Italy, I just sent 4 shirts to Poland, Russia, Portugal. I have a whole mob of fans in Portugal. They send us videos all the time of them rocking out to our music videos. And we just love it. I have people commenting all the time, come play Keep It True, Hell's Heroes in Texas. I mean, we would love to be a part of one of these festivals. I have no problem playing for free.
I've only seen videos of you playing in the California area. Have you guys branched out in California? Did you play any other states?
Not yet.
Wow.
We haven't been able to find like concrete promoters, concrete pay deals. We were supposed to go up to NorCal last summer, but it didn't work out because we couldn't find, it wasn't concrete. It wasn't a done deal. So we were just like, well, forget it. If they're not going to confirm pay, we're not going to spend $1,000 on gas to drive up to NorCal to play, I don't care. I'd rather just do it online because that's where all our fans are, is online. Of course, we've played at the Whiskey a bunch of times with Hammerfall and Death Angel and Possessed and Flotsam and Jetsam and Satan from Australia. Those shows were awesome, Best freaking times ever back in 2018 when we opened up for Possessed at the Whiskey A Go Go. We opened up to a crowd of about 600 people. And that was amazing, man. That's what we live for.
What's it like playing with some of your heroes and then hearing from them? Like when you played with Possess or Hammerfall, did you get a chance? Did they check you guys out and they said, oh man, you guys were great? What, did you get receptions from these headliners about your guys' set?
I've taken pictures with Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper. I've taken photos with Jeff Becerra from Possessed. And I've passed by and said hi to some of the members from Death Angel at the Whiskey upstairs. I've connected with a lot of credible musicians at the Whiskey A Go Go, and I'm thankful for that.
Back to the for heavy metal music video. Open your heart. The chains. I love the chains. How did you Hellraiser it, man? You got the chains coming from the ceiling. How did you guys, tell me about the set for heavy metal, because it's interesting. It looks small too.
It was just some like 20 by 10 black sheets on the walls. The chains I hung from the ceiling. I had some chains from Home Depot, various gauge of chain. I just hung it from the ceiling on screws. I just drilled in some screws into the ceiling, hung those up. And then I just got like a fog machine. I already have like lights in here, like light strips and stuff like that.
And what did you film that at? Was that a special place or was that your own home?
Just a little warehouse right here. My buddy's place right here in Long Beach.
How do you get access to these places?
I've been involved in the metal community for close to 22 years now. I'm 36. So I have a pretty big, base of people that I network and work with, etc.
So now, do you guys do well selling merch?
I've sold over 100 T-shirts this year. Damn. Alone. I just send them everywhere. Every week, I got people sending me money for T-shirts. And prior to that, we sold another 100 T-shirts prior to those, because we just made new prints. But I sold 100 T-shirts prior to that.
Damn, so your merchandise is just flying like crazy out of your home, isn't it?
I've actually been looking into trademarking my artwork and, trying to get it sold in bigger retailers, because I think it could be made into something more than just a band or a band's mascot, if you know what I mean. Because our artwork, it kind of has like that old school, like He-Man kind of vibe, post-apocalyptic, meets like Mad Max, meets like, I like medieval times, so I throw a bit of influence in there as well.
when you started the band, did you have this in mind already? Like, hey, this is the image that I want the band to be like. How did that come about?
Dude, I just love the golden era, larger than life heavy metal style that's missing everywhere right now. You know, and bands like Armored Saint, the way those guys dressed back in the 80s, it's just awesome, dude. You can't talk any shit about it. There's nothing more heavy metal than wearing armor and chains and studded gauntlets and, you know, long flowing big hair. That's what metal is, you know. That's what it's all about. If you make fun of that in modern times, you suck. You suck. You know, and I'm not judging. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. But that's, to me personally, that's what heavy metal is all about. And I got a lot of influence from like the Mad Max movies. Nice. Just all those good old fashioned 80s movies. I don't know if you guys ever seen Charles Bronson's Death Wish 3. That movie's killer.
Of course, yeah. Man. He kills someone with the bazooka, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
Death Wish 3 is my favorite, by the way.
I love all those old movies. Commando, Escape from New York, Mad Max, Death Wish 3. I love 80s. I mean, I love the 80s, man.
I would actually happen to agree. It had the best action, had the best horror, it had the best aesthetic, like the map paintings that James Cameron would draw for. I think he drew Escape from New York's map painting. It just looks so awesome.
I love the Terminator movies. I love James Cameron, and I love the themes, the soundtracks for the movies he writes. They are so, you know, dramatic and meaningful sounding. Even if there's no like vocals, it doesn't even need vocals.
You're a writing machine. How does the ideas come to your head, riff-wise? You know, you kind of went into your lyrical vision, but what about the riffs? Where do you get the riffs from?
A great musician or magician doesn't reveal all his secrets, but
give partial.
I mean,
secrets.
Dude, honestly, like nowadays, I just improvise. I'll put riffs together. I'll screw around with different riffs, and I'll see what I like and what I don't like, and I'll throw them together on my. You know, I run Cubase 11, so I'll just throw them together and I'll see if I like it. If I like it, I'll use it. If I don't, and then I'll just work on lyrics. I'll think about a lyrical vibe in my head. Back in the day, I would just sit down in the garage and just, you know,
hammer away.
All here, no computer, nothing. I would just write songs.
So then let me ask you this though. When you're working, do riffs come into your head while you're at work?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Now, my friend who's also a guitar player, what he does is he turns on his phone and he sings to himself. Do you do something similar?
I actually do. And, you know, if I like a vocal melody so much and I'm in the car, if I'm driving, I'll straight up just start singing that melody. I'll just start singing it. And if I come up with something when I'm in the car, I'll record it on my phone. Yeah, I do that stuff all the time. It's a process, man. It's not like thrash metal where you're just singing da 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 da. It's like when you're singing power metal or heavy metal style, you have to have a catchy vocal melody. And yeah, it's a process. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. You can ask my wife. Like, I'm always thinking about what I'm going to write, what I'm going to sing, the lyrics. I mean, she gets annoyed with me. Like, that's all you think about is GraveDanger, GraveDanger. I'm like, well, that's my passion. You know, I busted my ass with this band for 10 years, over 10 years. You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then, so do you jam every single day in that room? This is your man cave, obviously. Is this where all the magic happens? Is this where the ideas come from?
Pretty much, dude. I mean, I take breaks. I go through phases where I don't even pick up my guitar. Sure. You know, sometimes I need to rest and meditate, you know. This is where everything goes down, right here.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful start. Now, all right, let's see your guitars. Let's see. Go one by one.
This is the most recent one I built. This is a 1990s, made in Japan, Jackson Warrior. And I would like to say that it's reverse engineered. It used to have two humbuckers. I filled up the route. I put an angled single coil pickup. That's a hot rail DiMarzio. And then this is a GFS Floyd Rose fast loader. You put the strings in through the back. You don't have to cut them. I also switched out the neck, and I don't like the pointy headstock. My favorite necks are the banana
Uh-huh.
headstocks or hockey stick headstocks. So I pretty much have banana neck on all my guitars right now, except for my Strat. But
Please
I hear
don't.
this baby. I hear this baby on here, and this is all hand carved. It's crackle painted. You can see the crackle, and you can see the
Uh-huh.
carving as well. And this guitar, this particular guitar, it glows in the dark, and you can see. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like
Oh,
a cosmos on the back. It's like space.
yeah.
A lot of reflective glitter. I don't know how that looks, but
Yeah, it looks great. How many hours did it take you to do all that to that guitar?
oh geez, God, this thing probably like just like probably a month. I had to watch a bunch of YouTube tutorials on how to, drill the holes for the new neck and set it up and tighten it down, make sure everything's flush and the action, like everything's perfect on this thing. Like the action's
Jesus.
super low. Yeah.
Was that guitar in any videos?
Yeah, it was in for heavy metal.
Yeah, that's right. It was the
Yeah,
dark.
I actually used that one and my V. I had my V on the wall over here. I'll go grab it in a minute.
Yeah. Show us everything. Show all
Yeah,
your
this is
actions.
this is my Kramer that I built as well, like Japanese Rising Sun theme. And I just added this like a year ago, this pickup route. It was just a single hum. And this one has a push pull to change the polarity of the pickup. This is one of my favorite banana headstocks. This one is like a Eddie Van Halen style. It's
Did you
huge. It looks,
did you paint it?
yes, I did. And if you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but the action is insanely low on this. I just love this thing. I've used it at so many festivals and shows.
What's your live setup, by the way? Are you playing on a Marshalls or?
My cab is a Marshall, and my head is a solid state PV Supreme. And I
Nice.
use I have vintage Korg Toneworks distortion board. Let's see, a Digitech harmonizer and just a regular chorus pedal. That's what I use live.
Damn, that's why you didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the one I used in the Modern Dark Age video.
Yeah, there it is. Right
This
there.
one, this one's kind of like due for a new paint job because I did this one almost 6 years ago, probably 7 years actually. But this thing held up great. I had my buddy do the frets recently, so the action is super low. This also has a speed loader flowed rose and a push pull knob as well.
Wow,
And,
I do recognize that guitar. I do.
Yes.
I do.
And this one has an interesting history. So this one,
looks like it came from the pits of hell.
yes, this one is LTD EX50. It used to be translucent black, and then I painted it fire engine red. And then after that, I said, you know what? Let's crackle it. So I crackle painted it. I didn't get the pattern that I wanted, so it sat for like a year or two. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to carve it. So I carved the crackle into it. So you can see the combination of crackle paint and carve, just like the green one. You see, here's the regular crackle paint right here. And then it gets really wild on the back.
Looks like a lava.
It's supposed to be like a lava style guitar. I've had this guitar in my possession the longest out of all of these ones, at least, because I've sold a bunch of guitars in the past. So this was a regular LTD headstock, right? So I actually added wood to this one to make it into, it's different, it's unique. It is
Now-
what it is. I like
now,
it.
Have you ever broke a string on stage before while you're doing like your solos?
Unfortunately, yes. It's always with the Floyd Roses, man, especially on the red LTD. That thing, I've broken 2 strings with the Floyd Rose on that before. So what I'll do is I'll just keep singing, and while I'm singing, I'll just grab one of my other guitars and just like, I do it all at once. I just tell the guys, just keep playing, don't stop. If I break a string, don't stop.
So
Just
then
keep it
you
going.
actually like do you carry the microphone and go over and like America?
I try to. I mean, I have a mic stand when I sing because I'm playing guitar at the same time. But
Sure.
I try to keep it. It's only happened to me once or twice in my 10 years with this band. So fortunately, this is an interesting little story. So this is an 80s Stratocaster. When I bought it, it was black and white stock. And I said, you know what? I'm going to turn this into my favorite guitarist style guitar, which in Malmsteen, of course. He had a guitar called the Duck. It was like his first guitar from the 70s. He called it the Duck. It was like a real beat up old Strat, like old 1970s, I think it was 71 Strat. And so I took this thing and I painted it, and it was regular cream yellow for a while. And I said, you know what, I'm going to relic this thing. They call it relicing. So I just got like various like razors, lighters, knives, chains, and I just started really like chipping away at the paint and giving it that rustic, beat up old Strat look. And I even got the Ferrari sticker here on the back. All of this was done by hand. I also wore out the fingerboard a little bit here, and I painted my headstock, and I also added Yngwie's signature on there as well. So this is an old Jackson 90s Jackson V Rhodes V here, and this one has a long history as well. So it had a regular neck, Jackson style neck. I took that off, I crackle painted it, and I sold it on eBay. And then I picked up this banana neck, and I put this one on here. And so I had crackle painted the guitar green. It was like a green crackle paint. But I didn't quite like the pattern that came out because it's a hit or miss with that stuff. Doesn't matter how many times you redo the crackle or if you follow the directions to the T, that stuff does whatever the hell it wants when it has its chemical reaction with the paint. So I decided, screw it, I'm just gonna have fun. You can see just like the green one, it's got the crackle and then the carve.
That's so cool.
And then I said, I'm just gonna add a little bit of galaxy in there too. And this is a little crackle moon I did right here. It's silver crackle moon, and it has a little 3D glitter.
Yeah, and it looks like you can touch it too. It seems like you could just...
Yeah, it has little various crackle planets on the back.
My goodness.
This used to be an HH. I filled this up and added an angled single coil because these things are just... It's like impossible to find an HS with an angled single coil these days. They're just like impossible to find. If you can find them on Reverb, but they're like 2,000, 3,000. This body style is really hard to find these days. So I'm just going to do it myself.
Quick question. When you go out and play live, has anyone offered you money to buy a guitar from you? Because yours look so different from the guitars you see at Guitar Center.
I actually have a little side hustle called Citrino Customs, and I've had many people reach out to me for crackle paint jobs. So yeah, I do run a little side hustle where I paint people's guitars.
Awesome. Now, those guitars are awesome. Which ones do you like to play live with the best?
My Kramer with the Rising Sun guitar and the Galaxy one. And also, I haven't had a chance to play my Warrior live yet, but this one they all play phenomenal. They all play great.
Now, where do you guys rehearse? Do you guys rent a room, or do you guys play at your home?
Well, we have a lockout in Gardenia, CA, and we also have here at my place. We practice here occasionally. I live in a beach city, so the houses are like I can go like this, and I can touch my neighbor's house. I try to have rehearsal during the daytime.
Are there any bands in your area that sound or try to sound close to GraveDanger?
There are bands that have a heavy metal sound, but I wouldn't say they're similar to GraveDanger. No, they're not. Unfortunately.
Actually, I think that's a wonderful thing. You guys are unique, man.
Just because I started this band before the whole new wave of British heavy metal revival. It's kind of trendy right now to play that style, especially in Europe. A lot of bands are getting signed in Europe, and actually in some Middle America states, some bands are getting signed to European labels.
Sure.
But
would you be interested in signing GraveDanger to a European label?
Of course I would, but we've already actually signed with two underground labels. We used to be part of Chaos Force Records from Portland, Oregon, and we did a compilation tape with them and like 10 other bands. And then we dropped with them and we joined Black Brits Records, and we're currently with Black Brits Records. and they're working on pressing us some CDs right now.
To ship out. Now, all right, quick question. You guys, when I watch, like, for example, Modern Dark Age, that video is on 2 different YouTube channels. It's on the GraveDanger YouTube channel and the NW. What's the deal with that other channel? I don't know anything about the other channel.
Well, that's a different channel. It's an independent channel where they promote new wave of British heavy metal bands, well, modern traditional heavy metal bands. And he's in Europe. I think he's in Brazil, the guy that runs the channel. So I just reached out to him whenever we make a music video. I didn't do a double upload this time with the heavy metal because I don't want to take away from the original uploads plays. But as far as like Modern Dark Age, Control Mechanism, we're all in GraveDanger, I did upload those ones twice. And Modern Dark Age is close to 85K. Actually, there was a Facebook page where it was posted where it got 650,000 views, about 8.5 thousand likes. But we'd also like to talk about our Control Mechanism music video. That one was shot with green screens and a 4K camera. A lot of work was put into that one, and
I said, that's my favorite song of your guys's, and it is a cool video, man.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. Well, we'd like to get some more promotion for that video if we can, just because I'd say that everything is top notch on it as far as like production, vocally, everything musically. That video came out great, and yeah, we're hoping to get some promotion. Like if people ask me for music, if I'm auditioning somebody, like that's like the first song I'll send them because it's some of our best work.
Now, is it hard? Now, you guys before in the past, you were jamming with a second guitar player. Are you happy just doing all the leads and guitar yourself? Because you mentioned earlier, being the leader and the front man, you're kind of like babysitting. But if you had a second guitar player, maybe that would help ease your performance a little bit. Is that something you want to go back?
I don't mind being a trio, but I would like another guitarist again. But the issue with another guitarist is most of the guitarists that I've auditioned, they can't really keep up. And also, if I had it my way, I would just be singing at this point. If I could find guitarists to play the rhythm and I just sing, I would be happy, the most happy with that scenario. Everyone that I know that plays this genre is already in a band or 2. Like some guys are doing double duty and even triple duty. They're like with 3 bands. So everybody that I know that plays that genre is already in a band.
Man, so wait a minute. You just said you would like to step down and just sing. I can't imagine you on stage without a guitar, Tom.
It's understandable, but I think just so I could be at my best vocally, I would prefer to just be able to sing. I'm not against it, but it's the way it should be. There should be 2 guitar players, a singer, a drummer, and a bass player. You know, or in Iron Maiden's case, 3 guitar players.
Yeah,
because then you can do triple harmony octave, triple octave harmonies on guitar.
If you were to step down from guitar, that would never stop you from writing music, obviously.
Of course, I'd still be writing the music. I mean, I've even written some of the bass lines for the songs myself, like Hypocrisy, for example. I wrote in that bass line in the intro for my bass player, and he loves it. He loves that song.
Who wrote that awesome bass line in And we are, I think it's We Are Great Danger, where it's just the bass part, and then you do the harmony with them, right? Who wrote that part?
I wrote the harmony. The pause with the bass solo part, that was written by a previous bass player from an older Great Danger lineup.
It still works, and then
So
your harmonies with them, it's so good.
We never ditched it. We just keep using it. Yeah.
Kept using it. Well, it's awesome because it reminds me of some of Steve Harris style.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Steve Harris? I mean, my bass player he worships the guy. He loves Steve Harris. I love Steve Harris too. I mean, I love his tone. He has the best bass tone ever. I try to EQ when I'm doing my mixing and mastering. I try to EQ the bass to sound like Steve Harris as much as possible. I'm self-taught at mixing and mastering. I haven't like gone to school or anything for it. Just like I've been mixing and mastering and producing probably for like, I'm gonna say 10 years now.
What is the future for GraveDanger? What's the future? What does it look like for the future for GraveDanger?
Well, I'm actually working on 3 new tracks right now, and we're planning to cut a new music video soon for our single and re-release titled Into the Inferno. It's a fast song. It has a power speed metal type vibe, and we're looking into shooting a music video for it. And I'm looking for an area outside this time where we can shoot it with the proper lighting, etc. Because we have already done like the warehouse inside kind of look. We've done the outside look. So now I'm looking for something somewhere else unique where we can shoot the video. Well, what I've always wanted to do, I'm probably going to influence people on this one, but I'd love to do a music video in like old school 80s arcade. But the only one that I know is gone now. There's these 2 guys in Fullerton, city of Fullerton. They had an arcade in a warehouse that they set up with all their own machines. They had like close to 100 machines there, and it was an awesome environment. I've always wanted to do a music video inside an 80s arcade kind of vibe, like fog, black lights kind of deal. Damn. I did see one band do that recently. I can't remember the name of the band, but I did see a band do that recently.
No, all right. So I wanted to ask you this, and this question came back to me is, how do you prep your voice before a show?
Honestly, I don't pre-plan.
Dominic, I can't believe it.
I don't do any pre-show prep. I just get up there and sing. I mean, if anything, I'll do a couple of vocal exercises, but usually I don't. I'll do this thing. It's like almost like a motorboat with your mouth. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it here, but
I've done it.
It's to open up your throat. But occasionally in the past, I have done that, like on the way to a show. Sure. But honestly, I don't do any pre-planning before I get up there, because the more you use your voice before a show, the less it's going to last when you're up there on stage, especially when you have to play like 7 to 10 songs. You know, you want your voice to last consistently through the whole set. And when you're like me and you're up there, you're playing guitar, you know, again, you're making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. You've got your pedals, your harmonizer, your chorus, and this and that, and this and that. You want to make sure you have your voice is ready to go. If my voice is raspy, if I wake up and my voice is raspy or my throat hurts, I mean, just some tea with lemon, some honey. Fortunately, I haven't had any shows recently. You know, you want to talk as less as you can. If you burn your voice out, you want to save your voice and just not talk. Just don't talk.
Tell the people where they can find GraveDanger, where they can buy a shirt, where they can buy the albums. Tell us right now, where can the people find the GraveDanger?
Well, GraveDanger's on YouTube, Instagram, _GraveDanger Heavy Metal. We're on Facebook, GraveDanger. Make sure you don't put a space. It's all one word, GraveDanger. We're on Bandcamp. We do have limited t-shirts left in stock. So if you're going to get a shirt from me, make sure you message me first. Make sure I have your size in stock. And we're planning to get some more merch made soon. Yeah, we're pretty much on every major social media outlet or whatever. So we're out there.
Rock on, everybody.